turn off your microphone. Good morning, Taj and Gabriel and Adria and Sabrina and Ryan. I'm doing good. Good morning, Anaya. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Angeline.
Morning.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Anaya. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Genesee. Hi, Caleb. All right, guys, so today is National Raspberry Popover Day. Do you guys know what a raspberry popover is? Hi, Nisa. No? Okay, so I actually pulled up some pictures so you guys could see. Hold on just a second. It does. It does kind of look like a muffin. Like
I've
a
had those
muffin or a
before.
cupcake. Does this help?
Yeah, I've had them before, but I'm not a big fan of raspberries because I don't like the little seeds. Like, I feel like they ruin the mood for me because I can't eat anything with seeds. I have I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's like I have like a lot of things that mess me up per se, like things that bother me, I can't walk around the house without socks on because I hate like dirt and stuff on my feet, or I can't like put on lotion because I hate the way it feels on my skin, stuff like that. So when I have seeds in my mouth, it makes me so anxious for no reason.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good morning, Shakina, and I think Taj and my king and Kenneth and Cadence, and I'm missing some people, and Emily and Daniel and Braxton and Brandon. And if I miss anybody, good morning, everybody. So yeah, I get it. It's a sensory thing for you. All right. Um, you've never had raspberries or you don't eat raspberries? Okay. I think for those of you who are just popping in, a lot of kiddos said they didn't know what a raspberry popover was. So here's a picture for raspberry popovers. It's kind of like a muffin with like fresh raspberries in it, I guess you would say. Good morning, Julio. So and so then that was my question is, do you like baked goods with raspberries in them? So some of you have said you don't think you've ever had a raspberry. Some of you say you don't eat raspberries. Hi, Gloria. Um, so if you do eat raspberries, would you like them in like a baked good, whether it be like a muffin, like the popover today, or pies or something else? It's put in like it's mixed in and then it is baked. But they don't use like canned raspberries like you would with a pie filling, like it's fresh raspberries. And then usually it's some type of either the powdered sugar or kind of a cinnamon type sugar, like dusting over the top of it. At least that's how I've always had them. But I like raspberries. So I think, if you like raspberries, then you would like raspberry popovers or baked goods with raspberries. But if you don't like raspberries, whether it be you don't like the taste or the sensation, right, because of the little seeds or whatever, then you probably would not like baked goods with raspberries in them. It's one of those things, right? Like, do you like peaches? And people who go, yeah, I like peaches, well, then they probably would like, like a peach cobbler. But if you say, do you like peaches? And they go, nope, then they probably would not like baked goods with peaches. Okay. Hi, Annalisa. All right, so if everybody could get their Module 10 Global Connections presentation course arc open, please, if you would. Pretty please. So there's a lot of, you got yours open, good. So obviously we're examining countries around the world. Oh, you do, Brendan. Okay. All right. So you probably like them baked, Brendan, but you don't like them maybe fresh. There you go. And blueberries is one of the fruits that actually really changes from fresh to baked, like quite a bit. So that could be part of it, because usually when they're in baked stuff, there's sugar added to them, and blueberries themselves are not super, super sweet. So you probably like them when they're in things because they've been baked and they've been sweetened, but fresh ones not so much. So yesterday we chose our country from Europe, and I'm going to pull this over here because a couple of kiddos put in countries that were not on the list, and I said nope. So if you're looking at the list right here, I saw the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom is not on this list. You can't use the United Kingdom. I'm trying to make you think outside of what we traditionally always head to. So if you're a couple of my kiddos put United Kingdom, you need to go back and pick a different country. The second part of it was you were supposed to complete your research for the country that you chose in Europe. Okay. And you were supposed to have that done, because today we are actually going to move on to the countries of Asia. And we're going to move a little bit quicker because I want you to get through Asia and then definitely get started on your country in Africa. So yesterday I asked you, before you guys, left, I said, hey, before you come back to class today, make sure you choose your country from Asia. So we literally, and remember, Asia is large, right? So you could choose something from Southwest Asia, which is the Middle East. Okay, you could have chosen that. You could have chosen something from South Asia, which you'll notice on here, the one country that is not in here for South Asia is India. So not allowed to choose that one, but around that area. You could have chosen Asia, right? South Asia, Southeast Asia, China, Mongolia. Actually, China's not on here as well. I think what they were looking at is to make you guys look for countries we haven't talked a lot about. So you would have to think of, like, for Southeast Asia, that's where you look at like Laos and Thailand and Cambodia, or island Southeast Asia. Any like Vietnam, Yemen, Laos, Sri Lanka, South Korea. You'll notice North Korea is not on here because North Korea does not trade with us. And they do not trade with very many people at all. They're very much a closed society. So you should have picked a country from Asia. So here's what I need you to do. Everybody right now, I need you to put in here, what country did you choose for Asia? I need you to type that into there for me, please. And then we're going to start our research for Asia. And I'm going to put, remember we had a couple of databases that we were having a little bit of issues with the sign-ins. I'm going to put these back in the chat again today. So here's the ABC, CLIO, if you don't want to go through Clever. And then the one for EBSCO, because they changed it from Bighorn to Bighorn 22 exclamation point. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. You're welcome, Samuel. So I need you guys to have chosen your country from Asia. And then I need you guys to start your research and start putting your information in for your country from Asia. And then I'm right here with you guys if you need help. Let me see. I'm thinking maybe I'll open up the World Book one on my side in case you need some help. Does anybody have a question or you need some help picking a country from Asia? If you're unsure, now would be a great time to ask because we can talk about them. So again, Turkey through the Middle East, right? From Turkey through Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, talking about into Iran, throughout this whole area. Now you notice like China's not in there because we've talked a lot about China and India, but you've got the countries surrounding it. You have Southeast Asia. You have, obviously we can't do North Korea because they don't trade, but South Korea is in there. Yeah, Japan definitely not in there because again, we've talked a lot about Japan this year. But do you have any questions about any of the countries that you see on the list? It is. It is run by a dictator, and it's a closed society, a closed economy. They call themselves communist, but it is, as most communist countries tend to end up being, very dictatorial. Kind of like China is communist, but it's basically ran by an oligarchy. It is very sad, Adriel. Let me see. On which one? World History website? Are you talking about World Book? Samuel? Are you talking about the World Book online? For the ABC CLIO? Hang on. You shouldn't, if you go in through Clever, you shouldn't have to put anything like that. Okay. Oh, so your yeah, it's look for Nevada. Hang on, let me find it. I'm looking for it. Hold on. Just leave Advanced Technologies Academy. That's fine. Continue. And then, yeah. Yeah, that'll work. And you want to do all the databases because we're not doing US geography. We're doing more world geography, but you can leave all the databases if you prefer, or you can click. So you can either just leave all databases You can click on world geography there. Hang on, I don't think you guys can see. Hold on. Let me make mine a little bit bigger. So you can either leave it on all databases here, you can click on world geography here, or you can click on world geography there. And then you can explore by regions. And so you click on the show all. And so you would be looking at, depending on the countries you're choosing, right? Southwest Asia, that would be like Turkey and Oman and Yemen and Jordan and Israel, like those areas. You would hit East and Southeast Asia, which would be like South Korea, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, those. And then South Asia would be the countries around India. So like I can click on, I'll just click on South Asia. Since that's the area we are in, and see here where you go, you can click on a country and then get your information that way. And then you'll do the same when you're doing Africa. So when you're picking your country from the list in Africa, you have to think, you know, are you like Algeria is in Northern Africa, Egypt is in Northern Africa. Okay, it looks like they have all of it. So you'll have to click on both, where is it? Northern Africa in this particular one. We'll have some North African countries, or the rest of the African countries would be here in the sub-Saharan Africa. And then when we get to Oceania, you would click here on the last one of the picture with the Sydney Harbor. Does anybody need some help? Do you need me to? And then this was where you could have gone for Europe as well as Russia. Part of Russia is in Europe, part of Russia is in Asia. It's just not on the list. But hang on, give me a moment. So like Azerbaijan is in the Europe, Armenia, those are countries that are in like the Caucasus area, okay, for Asia. Do you guys want me to play the focus music while you guys are working? I can play it quietly. No? Okay. Oh, well, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a poll since I'm getting a lot of yeses and nos. All right, so in the poll section, you know, it's got the three little shapes. Choose yes or no. Give everybody a moment here. Oh, why did I say now? That should say no. You know what I mean. I know. It should say no. I just said that, Samuel. Here, you know what? Should I just go ahead and end it? Let me do it again since now I've like confused everybody. I'm doing a new one. All right. The new one is launched. It's neck and neck. Seriously, only 5 of you have voted? Okay. Out of 36 of you, I need some more votes, guys. All right, I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to finish up this poll, and then I am going to make my decision from the poll since we're tied. Seriously? Okay, out of 7 votes, 4 said no. 3 said yes. So I guess I'm not going to play the music. 7 out of 36 students. Wow. Okay. Not sure how they would mute me since they can't mute me. Yes, Adriel?
They can't mute you, but they can mute the site, so they probably just muted the meet.
You know, that's on them. Muted the tab. All right. Okay, Annalisa, if you're not in here for 30 minutes, make sure you do the attendance form. I don't know if they'll excuse it or not at the school, but you should at least try. Okay. Just to be on the safe side. Like, I can't guarantee they'll be like, sure. All right, Annalisa, make sure you get your Asia country done and get started on your Africa country, okay? Awesome. Bye. It looks like quite a few of you still have not chosen your Asia country. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of you. That means that 25 of you have not chosen your Asia country, which means now you're going to make me start calling you out. And that's not cool. All right, guys, I just pulled up Go Guardian. Don't make me start shutting things down. My king, do you have all of your research done? Get your research done first, please, guys. Okay, Gabriel. Tremaine, you need to be working on your research right now. Simone, you need to be working on your research right now. Savannah, you need to be working on your research right now. Michael, you need to be working on your research right now. Braxton, what are you working on right now? Okay, Gabriel, thank you. All right, I need a response from the following students, or I'm going to assume you have walked away from class. I need a response from Anaya. I need a response from Diana. I need a response from Ayana. I need a response from Michael. Okay. You're here? Okay. Because I don't see you having anything open to be working on your research. That's what I am concerned about. Okay. Okay, Anna. I'm sorry. I was talking about there. Okay. I met Miss Davis. I keep forgetting. I have so many of you guys with like the same name. I apologize. Okay. I'm not seeing tabs that you are working on. And according to Go Guardian, you guys are sitting idle. That's why I was asking. Michael, are you going to respond to me? Okay, Braxton. That's okay. I want to make sure you guys are taking care of business because we're coming to the end, right? But thank you, Anaya. Tremaine, are you going to respond to me? Michael, this is your last chance. Miss Mac, are you going to respond to me? Thank you, Angeline. Eric, what are you working on right now? Remember, guys, as you are answering the information about your countries, we have the questions, remember, that you're supposed to be kind of following along with. So you have your basic research questions that you're working on right now, like what is the history of the country? So give a brief explanation about conflict, culture, government, change over time. And then think about the government's economics. Like, what kind of economy do they have? Are they a command economy where the government owns and controls all the means of production and they make all decisions? Are they a mixed economy where the government controls some things, but there is some capitalistic, people can own things? Or are they a completely capitalist society where the government just kind of steps back? How do they make their money in this country? Do they have mixed things? Do they have a bunch of different type of things going on? Or are they all about, agriculture or natural resources? What are their major industries? That would be how they make their money. Major imports, exports generally go along with their major industries. And then who are their major trading partners? And then the last part is, what are some major current events going on in each of the countries that you're going to do? Okay. So remember, these are the questions that you're kind of looking at, that you're answering in your research on your page, right? For each of your countries. Eric, are you going to respond to me, please? Okay, Aaliyah. So by now, we're about halfway through class. You should be getting a pretty good chunk of the stuff for your country in Asia in your course arc. Remember, you should have done Europe yesterday. You're working on Asia now, and probably about the last 15 minutes of class will start Africa. Okay? Remember, Gabriel, pick the one that it was already on there. There was one, it was like some technology institute. It really doesn't matter what you pick. They're all CCSD schools, so you're fine. Okay, yeah. You're welcome. So remember, guys, for the EBSCO, you have to use the password that I put in the chat earlier. It's like Bighorn 22 exclamation point, because they kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I was wondering because I was just trying to sign in there
That's
to.
why. Remember, Angeline, I put that in the chat earlier. I said, remember, we have to use these
but
new
I forgot.
ones. Ah, okay. I see you're back, Mr. Heel. What are you working on? But you weren't responding to me the multiple times. No, you're working on my class, right? You're not working on another. No, do not be working on another class. You have a major project for my class that I am giving you class time to work on. That is what you are supposed to be working on. If we were in a brick and mortar school, I would take that writing assignment away from you. You are in history. We have a massive project that we are working on. That is what you're supposed to be working on. It is not okay to be working on somebody else's stuff in my class. Just like it is not okay to be working on my stuff in somebody else's class. Did you find your charger, Emily? Caleb, what are you working on right now?
The course are economic research.
Okay, so you're working on your Asia country?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, so we've got like 7 minutes left in class. So let's kind of look at the countries in Africa, because that's where you need to head to next. In fact, you need to have most of Africa completed when you come to class tomorrow. So obviously we can look at countries like Egypt, Libya, Algeria, because Morocco is on here. Those are all northern Africa. Those are all what's right there on the Mediterranean. So that would be, if you're looking for connections, that would, because they're on the water. You also might want to look along the countries along the coastal areas, right? Because it's going to help them with trading partners. Now, you also have to keep in mind countries like Ethiopia and Somalia are kind of like crazy anarchy type states right now. They're very poor. They don't have a lot of trade. They're very unstable. We're constantly having to send peacekeepers in there. So maybe those aren't the greatest. You have to think about that, right? You notice that South Africa is not on here because we've talked a lot about them. But let me see, you can do it if you think you can find enough connections. I know Ethiopia's been having a really hard time. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If you're having a hard time finding connections, that might be why, Emily. You have, like South Sudan is in here. They've had a lot of issues, but they're kind of being pulled out of that. Angola, Benin, Burkina Faso. I'm looking. The Cote d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea. That's on the west coast of Africa, and that's the area from the old slave trading days, right? On the eastern side, you have like Eritrea and Somalia and Ethiopia. They're right there on the Red Sea, but they are close to Egypt. They are close to the Suez Canal. And then, of course, going into like from the Suez Canal, which is what links the Mediterranean, the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean. So there's a thought process there. Mozambique, Namibia, those are on the bottom like eastern portion, so southeastern portion. Tanzania is on the east side. Tunisia is on the north. Zimbabwe is kind of down middle-ish, but southern. Kenya's on the right. Kenya does a lot of travel business, a lot of safaris, so that might be something to think about there. Ghana is over in the Western old slave trade area. Libya really doesn't like the United States, so I mean, you're not going to find a lot of connections with us there. Let me think here. And remember, Sudan was split, right? Northern Sudan, and then you have South Sudan. Northern Sudan, or Northern Sudan, is Muslim. South Sudan is Christian. Rwanda, they've really worked hard ever since they had their huge civil war between the Hutu and the Tutsis. I'm just trying to like pull some of these things out here just to give you some. Madagascar is the island. They've really been working hard at trade. So I mean, there's really a lot of countries. Just, you know, keep in mind, think about where they're located. Okay, that's your connection. That's the connection you're gonna make, Mr. Scott. See, there you go. And then you can see, like, okay, so they're all connected because they all have, you know, they're all Christian based. What other connections does that also help you bring about too? Okay, Emily. I can tell you my sister loved Kenya when she went on a photo safari, and she loved it. She said it was absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of African countries that are Muslim. So, wow. Okay. So you have a lot of Muslims in Somalia. You have a lot of Muslims in, well, Ethiopia is a weird mix. You have obviously in Sudan, Libya, Algeria has a strange mix there of Muslims. Okay. You know what you could do? You could just type in Google what countries in Africa are mostly Muslim. You're going to have a lot of Muslims in like Mali and in Nigeria and all of this, because remember the Saharan slave, Saharan trade that went across, and we talked about that. And a lot of Islam was brought across that way. So you could pick, you know, just throughout this way. You have to remember, so in Egypt, you have Muslims, and then you have Coptic Christians. So you find a lot of a mixture of Muslims and Christians throughout like this region. Because hello, Israel, Mecca's right here. So you have the birthplace, you have Judaism, Islam, and Christianity like all right here. So it kind of makes sense that you would see that in, you know, like through trade and travel and stuff make its way into Africa. All right, everybody, it is 10:53. We are done for the day. Can you guys believe it? So you need to be working on finishing up your Asia country, and then be working on your Africa